Hello and welcome back to the port. I'm the Gav Major, and this is a review of the Japanese Tier 6 Premium Destroyer, Yukikaze. She's available for 12,500 Stellar Chips, which can be earned through the April Fool's Stellar mode, I guess you could say. However, you won't be able to simply just grind the ship out. You will have to put some doubloons towards the ship in order to purchase additional missions, which you will then have to grind out. So she's not available completely free, but she's not also available for simply just people who can just simply buy them outright. It involves a mix of purchase power and grinding power, I guess you could say. So it means that she might be slightly more elusive than some other premium ships out there, I guess you could say. Now, Yukikaze, meaning Snowy Wind, is a Kagero class destroyer which was launched in March 1939, I should say. She survived the Second World War, one of the very few Japanese destroyers to do so without suffering any major damage. And throughout the war, she partook in 10 major battles and 100 escort and resupply missions. Now, after World War II, she was transferred to the Chinese Republic Navy, where she would continue to serve until 1966, after which she was then scrapped in 1970. Now this is a tier 5 and 6 game of Capture the Base on two brothers. On the enemy team we have a Fubuki, a Mahan, a Mass, an Aoba, Pensacola, York, double Warspite division and a New Mexico. Spawned on the left and just moving up and seeing what we can find, I guess you could say, following our RDF, but keeping some distance, doing a bit of scouting, I guess you could say. So, continuing the review, in comparison to the Tech Tree Tier 6 destroyers only. She has the joint third best HP, just above average at 15,100. Now, it may appear to be a little bit more on the well, during this review, but that's simply because of my inspirations. As always, down in the description will be the command build and the inspirations and the modules used. Now, when it comes to the armour, your typical armour scheme for a destroyer, your usual tin can armour scheme. So we might as well then crack on with the artillery. Artillery wise, we have 6 5-inch guns in 3 dual gun turrets with A turret, Y turret at the rear and X turret super firing behind that. So we've got 2 guns aft and, well, 2 turrets aft I should say, and 1 turret fore. Now I'm going to wait and see what this Warspite does with these incoming torpedoes. I'm also seeing the Mahan there, so being wary of my detectability. But we know the Mahan's not running RDF because I'm not located. Now, continuing with the artillery, we have the joint shortest range of 10.4 kilometers. We have the joint slowest reload of 7.5 seconds, and we have the second slowest reverse speed at 26.1 seconds per 180 degrees of rotation. Ironically, it looks like a destroyer's gone down the middle. And we might see if we can just quickly take advantage of our alpha against this Mahan. We're not going to win a slugging match, but if we can just hit him a couple of times, use our alpha, and then we can just break off. Now, the Japanese destroyers do excel at kind of kiting away battles because they have those more turrets facing rearwards. And if you can just keep a target engaged and following you like this, then it's all in your favour. That Mahan should really think about popping smoke, but I think it's too late for him now. There we go. And we're not really too fussed about continuing the engagement against the Warspites. It's probably best that we start heading back towards the base and see what we're dealing with there. So continuing with the guns, we have the highest HE shell damage of 2,150, so that's very much why I was saying, like, taking advantage of my alpha against that Mahan. She also has the joint highest fire chance of 9%, and she also has the joint second lowest AP shell damage of 2,200, so the AP is not amazing, but the HE is quite nice. Now, when you combine that with the rate of fires, you are looking at the third lowest HE DPM, joint second lowest fires per minute, and joint second lowest AP DPM. Cracking on to the torpedoes, we have 2 quadruple launchers mounted amidships. Now these can obviously fire to both sides, and the torpedo angles look reasonable enough. Not super amazing. I mean, would be nice to have a bit more forward, but then again, they're not super restricting either. It's almost you can deal with it, you know, you can live with it, I guess you could say. Now, These have the third slowest launch reload and second slowest reload per tube. So launch reload is 104 seconds, whereas the tube reload is 26 seconds per tube, basically. Now you do have the highest torpedo damage of 21,367, which basically means that you do qualify for the big yield trait. Also, you have the joint largest detectability on these torpedoes, which is 1.8 kilometers. With the Fubuki gone, we might as well turn and start heading up north and seeing how to deal with this warspite now, and maybe see if we can even start capping, as the only enemy destroyer left is actually all the way over on the western flank. Now these torpedoes have an average range of only 8 kilometers, which is a little bit of an irritant, because that does mean that if you will have to get within radar range of most of radar cruisers in order to be able to launch your torpedoes. I mean, again, it is average, but in comparison to the other Japanese destroyers at this tier, it's not amazing in comparison. But then I guess you have to pay something to have those high yield torpedoes. Now they are quite fast torpedoes as well, only doing 76 knots, so they are speedy little things. It does mean that even though they are spotted at 1.8 kilometers away, they will motor through that 1.8 kilometers quite quickly. Going on to the maneuverability, you are the second slowest at 35 knots, so that's a bit of a drag really. You're the joint third largest turning circle at 640 meters, and you also have the second best rudder shift at 2.7 seconds. Now that's quite interesting, having that very rapid rudder shift, especially for a Japanese destroyer, which then therefore means it's not completely necessary to take steering gears, so I'd probably recommend propulsion module in this case. Going on to the concealment, you have the hidden trait, and yeah, that's completely correct. You have the best detectability at 6.6 kilometers by sea, joint best from the air, which is 3 kilometers, and joint best from smoke, which is 2.5 kilometers. So a very sneaky ship, and can be. You can reduce the detectability right down. Furthermore, I guess it's always worth noting that she does come with a Type 9 permanent camouflage, which is basically equivalent to a Type 4 consumable camouflage. That does improve your detectability by minus 4.5%. Now, going on to the modules, she has engine boost, and you get 2 of those, and that will increase your engine speed by 8% for 120 seconds. That then has a 180 second reload, and it will take your base speed, so that's obviously excluding inspirations and booster flags and other things like that. It will improve your base speed up to 37.8 knots. I'm going to not drive into an island, I hope. There we go. And what I'll do, I'll keep moving over to the other flank, and then that way I'm kind of going to try and draw these guys over, I guess you could say. Now you also have 2 smoke screens. Now these have a 20-second duration, that's how long it takes to lay a smoke screen. 89-second dispersion, which is how long a smoke screen will last for, and then a 240-second reload. Now, as I've already alluded to, down in the description will be the commander build and the modules used, but just to go over it, I've gone for aiming systems on the first module, so aiming systems module 1, then gone for propulsion module 2, the reason being is obviously it doesn't make sense to go for steering gears. Also gone for concealment module 1 as well, that increases your detectability, well, it reduces your detectability by a further 10%. So, with only 3 enemy ships left on the enemy team, it's very much just a situation of just drawing them in, I think. Our detectability at the moment is only 5 kilometers, so we do have about 700 meters of wiggle room from the Aoba. And it also means that those torpedoes are only going to take 18 seconds to close in on him, if we can take that opportunity. We also still have an engine boost, which is quite nice. Oh no, she's turning back in at us. And what we might do is just see if we can tease her to turn and bring her guns on. There you go, absolutely perfect. I do love a participating customer sometimes. So after baiting that kill, went up to 55,000 damage. So I mean, in comparison to, say, the tech tree destroyers, is she worth it? Well, her only tricks up her bag are her hard-hitting torpedoes and her very stealthy detectability. Other than that, she's not really particularly amazing. Whether she's worthwhile, I think, is a very difficult thing to determine, I guess you could say. I feel that she's probably more worthwhile than, say, The Sims, where The Sims basically brought absolutely nothing special for a premium price, whereas the Yukikaze does bring something. Does bring that really stealthy build, does bring that really hard-hitting torpedoes, at a premium price, I guess you could say. Whether that's completely worthwhile is really down to your playstyle. I mean, if you really enjoy Japanese torpedo boats and you enjoy this kind of playstyle, then you're probably going to very much enjoy her. Whereas if you're a bit like myself, you prefer a bit of guns on your destroyers, then she may not be completely your cup of tea. Looks like Warspite's potentially turning in towards me, so we'll just do that. We'll just see if we can draw her over or something. And getting a fire, very nice. And there we go. Well, it was a very nice short game. Managed to get through the review with only a few minor mistakes. I corrected myself though. Always the joys of doing these live. Oh, the campaign's moving along, but we can skip that for now, can't we? So, there you go. 68,000 damage, 3 kills, 4 torpedo hits. So you can see how hard those torpedo hits, how hard those torpedoes do hit, each one causing the flooding. 43 hits on target, devastating strike, can't really complain, and coming in top of the team. Been doing that quite consistently in her, regardless of the matchmaking. It seems like she can do very well. I just find the playstyle just a little bit dry, in my opinion, but able to walk away with 339,000 credits following a ship service cost of 82,000 credits. That does include premium count and a common credit booster. Well, if you have enjoyed this review, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy this content, feel free to subscribe. Down in the description is the command build and the modules, along with the email address of the channel if you want to send in your own game captures, and the link to Patreon if you want to support the channel on Patreon, as it is a non-monetized channel and always will be a non-monetized channel. Until next time, I'm the Gareth Major, and back to the port.
Hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the galloping Major. Bumpity, 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 bump. Get out of the way there, you fellows, unless you want me to run you down. I guess this is the life. Now, hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the galloping